Hey, good Saturday morning, everybody. Wow, what an extremely active surf. See all the pelicans up that way hitting the water. That is a very good indicator. I see dolphin feeding in here. You might see all kinds of excitement behind me in the morning briefing this morning. And boy, oh boy, what great news as the bluefin tuna bite is starting to really click right now. We're getting daytime fish, we're getting nighttime fish, and we're also seeing some really good signal up and down the coast for some yellowtail starting to bite in significant areas. So that's also something we're going to be talking about. We're getting ready to set up on the MB after an absolutely spectacular Friedman Adventures trip yesterday on board the Island Spirit. Such great people showed up for it. We'll have a video a little bit later. All right, let's get set up. These pelicans are going nuts, and so am I. You know what time it is. It's almost time for the MB. Let's get into it.
Excellent night bite last night on board the American Angler as they have close to 50 bluefin tuna. That is father and son, James and Lorenzo Marcial, having a great time on board the Angler. They both said that the smaller jigs, 250-gram jigs, were the most effective last night. They're already getting a little signal here this morning. Hopefully, we're going to see more daytime fish as the bluefin tuna bite out of San Diego and for the Ensenada Pongueros is on the upswing. Things are looking good with daytime and nighttime fish, but a great night last night for this father and son team on board the American Angler. Nice hit with 50 bluefin tuna. Let's keep it rolling.
Invited to join us on a reverse 2.5-day trip on board the beautiful Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing, departing June the 11th at 10 a.m. Wow, does that give us incredible range, and returning 7 p.m. on June the 13th. This is going to be a great fish. It's got all kinds of possibilities from bluefin tuna to white sea bass to halibut and so much more. Friedman Adventures Charters puts you in the fish. Make sure you text us today so you can get on a trip and you just might catch the fish of your dreams. Friedman Adventures Charter 657-227-6459.
What a fish! Yeah!
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on this absolutely gorgeous Saturday morning. We just completed a wonderful Friedman Adventures trip on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing with the great crew on board the Island Spirit. Saul up in the ticket office and all of you wonderful Friedman Adventures family members who came out for that trip. Every single one of you were great and fantastic. And what a trip we had with big quality rockfish, really great fishing, and a wonderful group of people. And man, my hat's off to you and my gratitude to each and every one of you for coming out on that fantastic trip. I'll be releasing a video here this weekend, so stay tuned for more of that. Boy, it's an active surf. You'll probably see a whole bunch of stuff going on behind me with pelicans pounding the surf here. And we also see some dolphin feeding around here. So a very active surf. We'll get into the surf fishing bite here a little bit later in the report. Also, you saw on the lead in the American Angler with some good fishing for James and Lorenzo Marcial, two dear friends of mine who are putting the wood to them. And hopefully they're going to get a daytime bite. Starting to get an early signal on that bluefin tuna already here today. There's been better nighttime fishing. We'll get into that with you. The Independence headed south. Andrew Alejos Rocks just talked to Captain Brian Pfeiffer a moment ago, and we have got so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, I'm jealous of you all because you get to see what's going on back there, and it's very active. Maybe you'll see a fish even jump out of the water or something. It's really great here this morning. Don't forget, if you have a chance, please hit that like button. Deeply appreciate that. Share these videos with a friend and subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. If you tick that little bell, you'll be notified when there is new content. And we have got a lot of breaking news going on right now, so stay in touch with all the very latest. You can also follow us on TikTok, on Facebook, and Instagram, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Whoa! Well, I'm operating on very little sleep. In fact, I went through a 24-hour period where I had no sleep, but it was all worth it because of that great trip. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's start south of the border. Let's just jump on board the Independence right now. She just left Point Loma Sport Fishing, steaming down the coast on an 8-day trip, headed for Alijos Rocks, where they had several yellowtail on their last trip, up over 55 pounds. The Independence doing a great job, and Brian just told me, the captain, yeah, we're steaming south, heading back down there where we had that exceptional bite. David Rouse was on that trip. Check out all those big yellows there at Point Loma Sport Fishing as the Indy unloaded and now headed south for another, what we hope is another spectacular, great trip. You cannot beat fishing on the Independence out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. So that's the update on them. All right, let's go south of the border. We're just going to jump 70 miles down there. And there was some good bluefin tuna fishing for the Pongueros out of Ensenada. So good to see the boys down there putting the wood to them and starting to catch more and more bluefin tuna, 20 to 60 pound fish with some bigger ones mixed in, a lot of Mad Mac trollfish, but also some popper fish, as well as like Daiwasakana type lures, 120 gram that you throw in a body of bluefin that may be up. There's also a lot of that bonita up on the surface, creating quite a ruckus, a lot of 6 to 8 pound bonita, but some of it even gets up over 10 pounds. Those are big, fat bonito. Cortez Sport Fishing down there in beautiful Ensenada with a great day yesterday on bluefin tuna. Spectacular fishing for Baja Fishing down there on Punta Banda. I think they had 15 bluefin tuna yesterday. Our friend over there, Victor, from Blackfin Sport Fishing, they had some bluefin tuna down there in that neck of the woods. So happy to be able to report to you that that light switch just keeps moving up as we move away from the moon phase and we really looking down the barrel, I hope, at some good fishing. The problem is not a lack of fish. We see that volume of bluefin tuna down there around Ensenada and several other areas. I mean, there's fish on the 60, the butterfly, the mushroom. It just seems to be all over the place. And by the way, if you're new to the channel or new to fishing in Southern California, the butterfly, the mushroom, those are all banks offshore of Southern California that will typically hold offshore pelagic type fish during this time of the year. And we're certainly seeing a lot of that. There's a mix in the terms of the grade of the fish. We see 20 pounders, we see 200 plus pound fish. So really interesting stuff going on. And what I'm very encouraged about is some better daytime fishing going on. In fact, the San Diego, the full day boat out of San Diego, out of Seaforth Sport Fishing, is out scouring right now. So hopefully they're going to get into that daytime bite today. American Anglers Fishing are getting a little bit of a signal. I just talked to Foca, who is a Ponguero out of Botes Juanitos in Ensenada, and he said they're starting to see some bluefin tuna early today, although Foca is going to fish local today. He's going to try to get some yellows to bite also. So good bluefin tuna fishing going on down there. Not for everybody, but we're starting to see it get better and better and better, and I love that very much. There's also that big bonita, as I mentioned. There's some decent calico bass fishing. If you wanted to focus on that, you can always fall back on the rockfish, and there's also some yellowtail zooming around. So things are on the upswing. No question about it, and hopefully it's going to continue down there in beautiful Ensenada. I think I have mentioned to you that we are planning a trip sometime around mid-June or after that. I'll keep you in touch with that in case you want to come to Ensenada and hang out with us for a couple of days. That should be a lot of fun, and we are definitely looking forward to having you along with us on a trip. And we're also going to be taking clothing and other things down to Mexico to help our dear friends, our brothers and sisters out down there. All right, let's talk what's going on with the bluefin tuna bite for the overnight guys out of San Diego. Once again, that bite is looking better and better all the time with daytime fish, with nighttime fish. The daytime bite, pretty good for some guys, up there at 20, 30 fish for some of the guys. Other guys, not as good, but man, the light switch is definitely going up. Pegasus on an overnight trip, 31 bluefin tuna, better scores than we've seen in a while. 40 to 60 pound fish, fairly prevalent on that trip. And a lot of that fish is biting the 250-gram lures. Last night on the American Angler, James and Lorenzo Marcial with good fishing. They said they're up to about 50 on the bluefin tuna, and they said very effective was the 250-gram lure. So that's very, very good. Checked out Cale Briers. He was on the new low end. Look at those two beautiful BFTs last night. They were fishing 350-gram jigs. So it does sound like a little bit lighter jig right now. However, 350, 400, 500 will come in very handy at times. So you have to bring that variety. I'm not telling you, just bring the lighter stuff. I'm just telling you that for that father and son team on the American Angler, that worked really, really well. The Highliner, 37 bluefin tuna on a one-day trip. And those are the kind of scores that we've been waiting for, these overnight trips that start getting a pop on it all. So I still highly recommend you're on a day-and-a-half trip or better. That's what you want to be fishing because it makes all the difference in the world. The Polaris Supreme, just starting out a 3-day trip, had 78 bluefin tuna. They're way over that now. They've done even better than that. They sound like they're possibly headed for limits on this great trip. So really starting to pump up, really starting to bite. Don't forget our Apollo 2.5 day trip, 2 spots left out of San Pedro, California. We leave June the 11th, fish through the 13th. 10 a.m. departure puts us anywhere we need to be. That is going to be a great trip. I hope you can text me and grab those last couple of spots. 657-227-6459. Bluefin tuna fishing in general on the upswing. Here we go. Let's keep our fingers crossed this time that it will remain consistent because we've seen these spurts and then they fall flat on their face. We'll see where it all goes from here. Tax problems, unfiled taxes. Tim Marquez is your man. He's been doing this for 35 years. He's a trusted Friedman Adventures family member. Give Tim a call today on heating and or air conditioning needs. John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning, another wonderful guy. Give John a call today. All right, let's get into what's going on at the islands right now. Coronado Islands, the San Diego was there yesterday, and while they saw some schools of yellowtail, that Forky did not want to bite at all yesterday. They fished rockfish and did great on the reds and vermilion rockfish. Hard to beat that. Some great eating fish going home, and hopefully they're going to come up with some more and more yellows at the islands. Anywhere from, well, 0 obviously, up to about 20 yellowtail at the Coronado Islands. No great shakes, but a little bit of fish there. The San Diego, as I previously mentioned, is offshore today, so they took off and went out trying to get this daytime bite on the bluefin tuna. I say they end up in double digits on the BFT today and a bunch of bonita to go along with it. My prediction for the morning for you all, I think the San Diego is going to connect. And again, we'll watch that for you very, very closely. At San Clemente Island, a little bit of yellowtail out there. Tremendous rock fishing. Some calico bass and bonita. At times, you can get a fairly decent yellowtail bite out there, but it's been a couple of yellowtails, some halibut, rockfish. I mean, everybody's going home with a lot of great eating fish, no question about that. We jump into Catalina Island, where there's some bonita and yellowtail and some okay halibut fishing at time. In fact, James Dean, I saw James the other night when we were doing the Danny Cadota show. He had just come in from the Pursuit, and James says, hey, I'm a huge Friedman Adventures family member, to which I tipped my hat to him and said thank you. And then I snapped a photo of that nice halibut. Way to go, James, catching that fish on board the Pursuit. So we'll continue to watch Cat as it's starting to come on. The water temperatures are warming up quite a bit. We're seeing some bonita, we're seeing some more bonita, calico bass, and a few more yellowtail halibut, and a good amount of rockfish over there. So that is all good stuff. Don't forget the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing. If you jump on their day-and-a-half trips right now, the first 10 reservations get a culinary masterpiece by Steve, the Gallet gourmet chef, on board the Freedom. First 10, free dinner on board the Freedom. 310-832-8304. All right, Santa Barbara Island, San Nicolas Island, really great rock fishing, and some more white sea bass being taken there. The Pride's had some fish. They've also had some halibut, 25 halibut on the most recent trip on board the Pride, and a couple of white sea bass. That's pretty good shooting out of 22nd Street Landing. And up in the Channel Islands, we experienced it for ourselves with a great crew on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. They go tomorrow on a Kids Fish free trip. Don't forget that. 805-676-3474. That was a great trip for so many reasons, mostly because of all of you who came out on the trip. You guys were awesome, and gals for that matter. Ruth was on board there, same name as my wife. And Bella, she was there, 10 years old, fishing hard with her father. That was so much fun fishing with her and Eddie Berrigan. They are really some wonderful people, and everybody on board was so kind and so nice. We had a salmon grouper. We had a boccaccio that went 13.5 pounds. They don't get much bigger than that. Huge reds, cows that we had to descend. Big cow caught, and just overall the biggest quality rockfish you could ever imagine. You'll see it for yourself as I put this video together and try to release it by this evening. I might have to get a couple of moments sleep, but sleep's overrated. So I'll try to get that out definitely by tomorrow, but hopefully you'll see it for yourself. I mean, huge quality fish on a pristine day. It was a little chilly, no question about it. And it was overcast, but it was flat, calm, and gorgeous. And we put the wood to it. And I mean, just one of many examples I can give you. On a previous podcast, I mentioned that my niece, Connie Friedman, is a doctor in Ventura doing her internship right now. And I mentioned, she would love some fish, so I'm going to try to get her some fish. So at the end of the trip, Robert Graber, who had fished hard all day long, hands me his entire giant sack of fillets to give to Connie. Man, Robert and all of you, I don't have the words. We attract so many wonderful people, and Robert, you are definitely one of them. Thank you so much for doing that, as I deeply appreciate it. And it was that kind of vibe that we had going on with everybody on board yesterday. Everybody was looking out for the other guy and having such a great fun. So many people on board had such great fishing. I can't tell you how much fun that truly was. So, great fishing on board the Island Spirit, and they go again tomorrow on a kids fish free trip. Several other boats. Aloha Spirit was out there with us. They had spectacular fishing out there with big reds and all kinds of great bottom grabbers. It was truly spectacular. So great fishing, no question about it. I hope you can get out and do that very, very soon. And don't forget our next trip, 2.5 reverse out of San Pedro on board the Apollo. That should be a really great one. All right, as we take a look up and down the Southern California coast, I sure look like what I'm looking at here. Yesterday, our very own Michael Limon promoted up into middle school. And Michael, we're so proud of you and your academic success. Way to go, Michael. And he celebrated by coming down here to the beach and catching some corvina and yellowfin croaker and a big old bar perch with our friend Halibut Man Mitchell. Really great stuff. His grandpa said, hey, man, you're in middle school. You accomplished something great, Michael. Let's go fishing. And that has been the carrot and the stick in Michael's life. The carrot, of course, being the fishing, and the stick being you better get good grades, and he has managed to do that. Michael, so proud of you. Keep up the great work. Up and down the coast, I'll refer you all down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. You go down to the corner there and you pick up all your bait and tackle, and I'm talking tackle from trout fishing right on up to these big bluefin tuna. You can get it all at Big Fish, and now they're starting a new tournament in the month of June. I'm not sure what the fish is. I didn't get a chance to check on that. I'm remiss. I'm going to guess it's going to be a corvina, but I'm not sure. So we'll get you up to date on what the big halibut was for last month and what the big fish for this month will be. And it's a free tournament every single month at Big Fish, and they give away a gorgeous custom rod. So a beautiful surf fishing rod. You can get that. Bar perch here. There's some spot fin croaker being taken right down here by my friends. I can see them wailing on them right now. We also see some yellowfin croaker and also the occasional nice halibut here in the surf. You can fish Lucky Crab lures and do quite well on that. Hey, I forgot to mention, check out Sean Stewart there with a salmon yesterday in the Channel Islands. A salmon that he released. But man, that water is a little chilly up there. It's about 58 degrees. We are lacking some squid in the area, but there is squid up there in Monterey, way further north. But I just wanted to point out where the squid was. Tommy Holland let me know about that. Tommy, you're the man. Thank you for keeping me informed as always. All right, we'll continue to watch it for you very, very closely. There is a lot going on, not only south of the border with that big bluefin tuna, but some of that fish starting to bleed in to Southern California also. Morning, guys.
Morning.
How's it going?
Great, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Some great surfers going by who are also happen to be fishing fanatics. At least I think so. Really good stuff here. So a lot going on. We're going to continue to watch it. Independence headed south. Will there be a daytime bluefin tuna bite today? Tremendous rock fishing on the Island Spirit yesterday with all of you wonderful people. That was really, really something. And of course, we'll watch surf fishing and so much more. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy weekend to spend time with us here on Friedman Adventures. And I hope to see you really, really soon.